What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Well From That Weight. I am your host, Joseph Coizza, and today we're doing a really interesting video. Today we're reviewing healthy snacks, or healthy-like snacks. Food that, like, the general consumer would think would be healthy, but reviewing their nutritional information to actually make sure they're healthy, and show you why it's important to view the serving size. Now, not all food is created equally, and most people think, oh, this is only 110 calories, but that would be per serving. So you look at a soda and you're like, oh, it's only 20 calories, but if the serving is this much soda, and you're drinking a whole can of soda, it probably ain't that good for you. So let's get into it. Now here's our whole smorgasbord of food. There we are. Now there's no brand names. We're just trying to show the general idea of like certain types of foods to consumer on what they think would be genuinely healthy. Now, first up, we have 3 of these little windmill-shaped cookies. Oh, aren't they cute? Aw, look at that. And now they're not marketed to be healthy, but the general person would think, oh, well, that's not that healthy. Well, we have the nutritional information right here in front of us, and we can kind of take a look at it. So, as you can see, the total carbs for 3 cookies is 20 grams. Now, that's not the best, but that's also, not the worst when you think it's, just sugar-full cookies. But then when you look at sugars, it's 6 grams of sugar. Now, again, that's, not great. You want to keep your sugars down, but it's also really not that bad when you get to 3 cookies. And the calories for 3 of them, as you can see, there's about 9 in a pack, and there's about 3 cookies for a serving size. It's 130 calories for 3 of those cookies. So that's not inherently horrible. Now, all of these are single, one serving, except for that one. That one had a little break. I got hungry. But, as you can see, these are all one serving of their respective foods. Now, next up we have these 2 breakfast biscuits. And if you're like me, you think, oh, breakfast biscuit, it's in the breakfast section. This may be a healthy kind of breakfast substitute or something I gotta have for breakfast. Well, for one, aside from the break here, it already didn't look that filling. And the 2, if you look at your nutritional information, you'll see these have 5 grams of sugar for 2 biscuits. Which, again, isn't inherently horrible, but it's also not great. And the carbs are 17.5 again for 2 biscuits. This is about on par with the 3 cookies. So something that's kind of marketed as like a healthy alternative for breakfast isn't necessarily like a good breakfast alternative in comparison to just cookies. You look at them and they go, oh, look, they just look like cookies. Well, they very much are just kind of cookies. And the same thing with investing as goes with your food. If you really don't understand what you're eating, or you can't pronounce words, and you're like, I don't feel comfortable, reading that and saying, yeah, I'm going to ingest that in my body, you probably shouldn't eat it. Now, a lot of foods have things that you shouldn't, that you can't pronounce, or that you don't know what it is. You should always do your research on what you're consuming and the type of chemicals and nutrients you're putting into your body. But just a general look over the nutritional label, and you'll see the serving size. It's 6 packets in 1 box. And it's 2 cookies per pack. So that's just 1 pack of cookies. And as you see, it's no real different from just the standard cookies. If we come over to here, these are rice-based snacks. Now you look at it and you go, oh, this is, a rice-based food. This is supposed to be healthier than just, some potato chips or something like that. And it was in the healthier foods kind of aisle. You all know that aisle of Walmart and Target. And, you go down your stores and you go, oh, these are the healthy kind of foods. These are healthier snacks. Well, if you read the nutritional label for them, this was just in a simple size bag, and the bag was probably about the equivalent of a potato chip bag and a half. And of course, you see it's full mostly with air, so somebody will easily eat, most of, if not the entire bag in one sitting. And this is 30 grams, it's half a cup. It's 110 calories. Now, as you can see, if we could get it adjusted there, the sugars are less than 1 gram, so it's not bag on sugars. 26 grams for carbs. You see, it's about 9% of the average person's daily diet of carbs. So that's not great, and that's per serving. So that's just a couple handfuls. Somebody could easily have 2 or 3 servings, and then there's about a third of their carbs gone for the day at 9% of their carbs per day. So as someone who would think this is a little bit of a healthier option, this probably isn't the best option if you're looking for a healthier snack and you just want something to eat. Having over here, we have corn nuts, which if you're like me, you don't quite know what a corn nut was until you tried them, and you find that they're actually pretty good. They're a little addictive. And I've been snacking on the other package, not the serving size package, but I've been snacking on the other package of them that I had off to the side when I was setting this up, and they're quite good. But you would think, oh, corn, maybe this is healthier than like a type of a chip, and the best way to describe it is it tastes almost like a Frito. So if you look at it, it's 130 calories per 1/3 cup, or 28 grams, and that's about a serving size right there. And that's maybe about 2, maybe 3 handfuls. If you're get bigger handfuls like I do, that's about 2 handfuls. And you see that's already 7% of your carbs for the day. The sugars are okay. You know, the cholesterol is fine. The sodium is also pretty high because they're very salted and they're more of an oily food. It's 130 calories. So you could easily eat basically that whole bag. Like I already know I got quite a way through that bag, just kind of snacking on them here and there. And you could easily get through a whole bag, if not most of a bag. And that's already most of your carbs and then most of your sodium for the day. So, again, you would think there in the healthy food section, oh, this is a healthy alternative to, say, potato chips or something. This isn't quite the best for eating. Now, again, as a snack, if you're just eating something to eat something, you know, which isn't good, and you really didn't care, and you're just like, oh, I'm just going to eat it because it tastes good, then, you know, go ahead. But if you're trying to have a little bit of a healthier option, you go, oh, it's only 130 calories. It's 130 calories per serving. It's like Cartoon Network I used to have back in the day. They had their characters singing around. They go, oh, check the serving size. You always have to check the serving size of your snacks. Because if it's 15 servings in a bag and you eat a whole bag, you know, if it's a smaller bag, it's 15 servings in a bag and you eat the whole bag, well, you just ate 15 or whatever it is. And then 130, let's just say, it's, let's see here, 4 servings here. At 130 for 4 servings, that's 520 calories just by eating one bag of corn nuts. Now, granted, you know, most of the bag of corn nuts is already gone when I'm eating it, and maybe some people wouldn't eat the entire bag of corn. Next up, we have this kind of like tropical type of food mix. It's, you know, it has like tropical looking fruits, or like something like bananas and oranges and coconuts and raisins. It always makes you feel like you're on a beach. And if you look at it, you go, oh, it's just fruit, it's just dried fruit, this is healthy. Well, as you can see, it has 15 grams of sugar. That's about a half of a soda. If you had a can of soda, that's about half of what you would find. Now, 4 grams are added sugars, which means a lot of these are already natural sugars that's in it. They only added, you know, they added sugar additives, which is good. Natural sugars aren't inherently bad, but regardless of the type of sugar, you want to keep your sugars down, because that's what also helps build up fats. If you eat a lot of sugary foods, it'll build up unneeded fat in your body. That just eats 140 calories, about 5 servings per container, and the container was probably about the same size as the corn nut bag. It's about, you know, a bag and a half of the small little potato chips you get out of a vending machine. But much like the potato chips you get out of a vending machine, most of it was air. Most of the one I got in the bag, I don't know, it was just my bag, or that's just how they come, but half of it was air. So eating a half a bag, maybe about, you know, a bowl of these fruits would already be the entire bag. And 140 calories for 5 servings, that's not the best. That's not the best thing if you're having all that sugars. And again, it's natural sugars, but you want to keep, regardless of what type of sugar it is, you want to keep those sugars down to a low. And that's would be 700 calories if you eat this whole bag. And someone like me who's, you know, say on a hungrier day, or you're on a trip, or you're on a flight, or you just need something to munch on before you get to your next meal, you could easily eat a whole bag of this. I could see the average person eating, again, most of, if not an entire bag of this. And that's 700 calories, and that's most of your nutrients for the day. I don't know if you can see it here, but it says for your dietary fibers, that's 11%, 9% of your carbs. And it doesn't say anything about the sugars. It says 8% for the added sugars, let alone the natural sugars. So already this is something sugary that most people would think, oh, it's just dried fruit, oh, it's healthy. Well, it's not that healthy for you. It's high in sugars, and will take up a lot of your caloric intake. Finally, we get to the last one. This is just an assortment of fruits, you know, raisins and nuts. It's got some dried fruits. I believe there's some dried oranges or something. And sort of a dried assortment of fruits and nuts. Now, you know that almonds and certain nuts and, you know, having non-salted, non-sweet little snacks could always good, or could be good for you, and will have, you know, a high in protein count, which is good. But this, on the other hand, if you take a look at it, it has almost the same amount of sugars as the one we just looked at. And the one we looked at, I personally feel, is the worst offender out of all of these. But it's 14 grams compared to, if we go back to this one, it's 15 grams of sugar. And this one has, again, more added sugars. That's 12% of your daily diet in just this little amount. And again, if you look back at it, it's the same as the other fruit bag that we had. It was maybe about a bag and a half of potato chips, and the equivalent of it is mostly air. So I can easily see some have 2 or 3 handfuls. Like right now, you know, I have some larger hands, as you can see, and this is just a simple little handful. You know, it's easy to see this being something somebody would just grab at. It's a handful or 2. And eating the whole bag could easily be something you do on your lunch break. And at 12% a pop, at 3 servings a bag, you're already going through 36% of your daily sugars with just this one snack. And you would think it's healthy, or same thing with the fruit. Oh, you think it's healthy, it's got nuts and fruits. Well, it's also not great for you in the sugar variety. This is also high on natural sugars, but it's also high on added sugars. And the same thing as having, say, a cup of soda would be the equivalent of eating a bag of this. Having a, your favorite sort of sugary soft drink will be the equivalent of eating this in the sugars. And again, there's more natural sugars in this than probably is in the soda of your choice, but it's not good because you're still eating a large amount of sugars. One final look back at our smorgasbord of foods. And feel free at any point in the video if you want to pause and take a look at the calorie information. This just shows that you need to check the serving size and not just the calories. And oh yeah, you can look at the sugars and whatnot. We always have to check what you're eating and the serving size of what you're eating, because if you're having this but you're having 5 or 6 of these little handfuls, that'll easily equate to more than your whole day's worth of sugars. And the same thing with all these and fats and carbs. You always have to be conscious of the nutrients you're consuming, not just the number of calories. Everybody looks at the number of calories or the types of food and goes, oh, fruit, oh, rice-based foods, oh, that's healthy. Well, if you take a look at the calorie information, it may prove otherwise. Now, it's important to know that we didn't get rid of any of these snacks. None of this food is going to go to waste. Even the little portion size is all going to go back and it's all going to get eaten. I have plenty of people that I know that would love to have all this, including the fruit, which oddly enough, as I was picking up and taking off the paper towel, left a very kind of strong, oily film that bled through the paper towel, which just kind of shows you more that, maybe it's not the healthiest thing that you think it is, or it's, not as healthy as you would want it to be, even though it is just some dried fruits. That's going to be it for this video, guys. Let me know which one you were most excited about. I'd say the fruit. The tropical mix was probably the one I was most interested to see and go, wow, this isn't as healthy as most people think it is. It's in the healthier foods, kind of section. But people think, oh, this is healthy. It's fruit. I like, bananas. I like oranges. I like raisins. And they'll look at it and go, okay, cool, great. And then they end up eating more sugar than they think. The added sugars for some of those were the same as the cookies. And those cookies aren't marketed as being healthy, then they're marketed as being cookies. So the added sugars was the equivalent of eating, say, some of those cookies. But anyway, let me know which one you guys were most interested to see, and which one's kind of, caught you guys off guard the most. If you eat some of these foods, or someone who always goes and just looks at the calories or looks at the nutrients, go, oh, this is fine without checking the serving size. Let me know in your comments down below, and make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.